is Ashley. Ashley is going to a 60s party tonight. There's going to be a little bit of dancing and some martinis, I guess. And she needs something that is relatively simple but has still some fun to it. So I'm thinking 60s, Audrey Hepburn, leaving out the bangs, and something that doesn't take too long to do because Ashley actually has to run to the party quickly. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to prepare the hair a little bit with a curling iron, so the ends will be listening a little bit better to me, and then we'll just get into a nice fancy French twist. So we're parting it from ear to ear. I would rather go towards the front of the ear with this than the back. If you think about 60s, you think about a nice bouffant in here. So you want to make sure that you're not going to set it too far back and it looks like a little helmet in the back, because that's not a good look for anyone. So now you have parted your hair from ear to ear. Let's clip this out of the way. We'll tend to the sides later on. I'm going to go into these ends just very loosely with a curling iron, because Ashley's hair is really straight in the ends. So I'm just going to curl it with a 1-inch curling iron to just bend the ends a bit. That way they're gonna listen to me a little bit better when I try to roll them into the French twist. Also, if there is a little bit peeking out, it's easier to deal with hair when it has a little curve to it as when it's very straight. And Ashley's hair is just really straight. So this is a good solution for something when you don't really have that much time to set someone under the dryer or to put hot rollers in. This could be 30-minute, 45-minute up style. As you see, I'm not even going on to the root area at all. I'm just gonna stay in the ends here. So it's really just to bend the ends, maybe a little bit, get some movement into the middle, but that's about it. Now, the back of the head, we're gonna split in a few pieces. I'm going to take out the top part. Just take it out of the way. So now on the top here, I'm going to take a slightly diagonal part. So I'm going to use Dust It by Schwarzkopf, which is a mattifying powder. Mattifying powder will just get the hair a little bit more rough and matte, as it says. So when you then want to tease it, it makes it very easy, and it makes the tease really hold in place nicely just by itself. Then you can just tease it a little bit better, and will give you so much more holes to your construction. So now I teased it up to here, just half the way of Ashley's hair, basically for about 4 inches. You don't have to go crazy doing so. You really just get your comb into the hair and just be really, that's already it. You don't need to go very quickly, just be controlled while you do that. You don't want to comb all the way through the other side of the hair. Now you want to take your boar bristle brush and just smoothen out. I'll take 2 fingers, put them right into the hair, about 2 inches off my part here. Build a hook and then roll the hair ends just around here. When I twist this all the way over, make sure that all this is nice and tight. And then I'm going to secure it with my bobby pins. You don't want to open any bobby pins up. You stick them in 90 degrees, turn them over with your hand, and slide them in. You should never have to open a bobby pin. If you have to open the bobby pin, then they're not good bobby pins. You can also go in here, slide them in. You just want to secure this one roll. I just used 2 right now, and it is already sitting there where it needs to be. But the little hairs, we're not going to worry about it now, but we're just going to smooth them on later on. This could be just a French twist like that if we would have taken all this. And of course I can't make it that simple. We need to have something fun going on here. So now we're going to take this side and do basically the same thing again. We're using the mattifying powder. Sprinkle it just a little bit on here. To just get the hair a little bit a dirty feel to it, just slightly. Part it in 3 parts, tease all of your 3 parts like I'm doing right now. That way you get a little bit more body to it. So you're smoothing this out again. You're smoothing out your one side. Make sure you don't hurt any of your teasing inside. And you do the 2 fingers through the hook. Roll all your ends around your 2 fingers, and then you just kind of, I would let it out and just move over where you then have your thumb in here. It's easier to manage your ends. Using your bobby pins, sticking them straight in towards the scalp. When you're on the scalp, you turn them over. That way you get the closest to the scalp so your up styles can stay. So you kind of think about when you put these bobby pins, and you think about that you want the inside of this roll to stand exactly where it is. You should be able to pull your hands out and it should just staying exactly where it is. If you feel like it's moving, then just secure it with another bobby pin, either from the top. It's good to have one from the top and one from the bottom. That way you make sure that they're really secure. Now these little guys down here, get these out of the way, which you can do. You stick the bobby pin in the other way around, turn it over, and slide it in. So now you have 2 beautiful even rolls. So now that we have that built, that's our under. Coming onto the top. Same as we did in those rolls, I would take this apart in 3 pieces and tease it that way. That way you get a little bit more hold to it. You use your mattifying powder. Sprinkle it on. That way you get nice height in here. I'm going to take the whole half moon that you left out. Tease that. Just very softly. Teasing, you want to hold onto the top, but you want to not pull it too much. You know, just hold on softly and then just tease it down so you can, this hair on top here can slide through your fingers. You take your hand in here. You always want to keep in mind that if you take 2 fingers or if you take your whole hand, it will make the size, it will decide the size of the shape. So if you have 2 fingers in here, the shape will be smaller. If you have a whole hand in here, the shape will be bigger. And we'll just take these ends, tuck these under. And then I'll just decide where I want the shape. I kind of want the shape to be open in here, almost like a hidden victory roll in the back. So I want this shape to be open. You can also close it all if you feel like it. I like that there is a little bit of a movement going on. So I will keep this open. You put the bobby pin straight in and then push it in. That way you see just the tiniest bit of the bobby pin, but you still have enough hole. You don't need the hole on this top part. You don't want to see a bobby pin sitting right on top of here, because you can actually look into this shape. So I'm just going to use, you always want to spritz with your hairspray in the direction of the cuticle. If you go against it, you ruffle up the cuticle and you don't get enough shine. So you always want to go with the direction of your hair. Now that we have established our shape, we had 2 pieces, or we had 3 pieces actually that we used. Now I just combined this shape with this one, so it looks like we're having a smaller shape and a bigger shape. I just like how that blends into each other over this way from the side. You always want to check your shape, that there is no cone hat happening, where it comes too far out this way and this way is too close down. So it should come together in a nice form. And this will show actually his pink highlights a little bit nicely. You just brush it in your hand. I'm using a little bit of hairspray. Again, it needs to be a workable hairspray that's not too hefty and not too stiff. I'm just going to brush it over again. That way you get a nice smooth outcome. And basically this will just be to finish off your shape and to finish off the smoothness in here. I just guided the hair all the way around, lay it in here, and now I'm just gonna use a bobby pin and secure it there. To hide these ends, you take a bobby pin to secure this end, take the whole piece of hair and put it in all the way to the bobby pin. You turn the bobby pin over and just stick it right in the middle of this. So now what you want to do is things like right here, you want to close these. And you close it by just softly going over, lifting it up a little bit, because if you take pictures of these kind of things, you will regret if there's any parts like that seen. There's openings. Just spray it on a little bit, hold it where you want it. Take a small comb. You don't want to take the comb this way, you want to just lay the comb on here basically. Roll it over and tuck it in. Onto the other side. So we're just going to take the bigger piece and the larger part, brush this through. I will lift this piece out and I'm just going to go in there with a curling iron a little bit, or a straightening iron, depending on if you want a little bit more bobby to it or if you want it really flat. And we do the same thing over here again, using a bit of the mattifying powder. With the mattifying powder, you want to make sure that you don't hit it on anything that's seen, because it leaves a little bit of a dust. Now we brush this over again. So I just rolled the end under and secure it with a bobby pin. I'm just going to polish up my ends. And voila. Now I'm just gonna need to go in to the front area, smoothen these ends out. I'll use a little bit of shine over it. I'm using the Blanc Me Schwarzkopf shine. Now you don't want to use it too much because it's also very conditioning, but I just feel like it lays a nice layer of softness and sparkle to it. So now that we have Ashley ready with her look, we can have her change and you can see the whole look.